You know what? Impact Wrestling is going to try to do this to me again, okay? They are going to rope me in, and I'm going to be watching weekly because now I have access TV. See? See? Impact? Justin, I think this is your fault. I think this is your fault, okay? So, just so you know, Impact is about to trick me. They're about to trick me. They're going to give me a really good show in Emergence, and I'm going to be hooked again.
Whoa.
Wrong one. Welcome in to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, I mean always, he means always, she means always, they mean always, you mean always, an instant classic.
Danny Dog! Hi, Jake.
We will see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.
Wrong intro. Sorry, guys. You know, it's of course I have it at this point. What is going on, good people? Back at it again. DJ here, Justin over there. The Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, an instant classic. Today, the Impact Gurus are back. Finally, it took us a while. I really want to make Impact a weekly review. I think it should be. It might be the only consistent thing we ever do on this channel. if we could be consistent, it might be the only consistent thing we could pull off. But nonetheless, definitely excited going into the show. I feel like Justin is mostly the reason why I tend to watch Impact, because he keeps me up to date when I'm trying to not be up to date on Impact, or when I just forget or I'm not keeping up. I'm excited though, because now I can actually watch Impact live. That doesn't mean I will, but I can watch Impact live. It's at my disposal, which is nice, and it's also on my DVR, so that's good too. So I got a couple of different platforms that I can finally watch Impact on a weekly basis. Because I mean, I still think Impact does some really good shows. I think they're the dark horse in the wrestling business, because I think it's LOL TNA first, and then it is I think it's LOL TNA first, and then sometimes it turns into like, Impact's still a thing. So I mean, I feel like when you actually watch Impact, I think it's truly enjoyable. But what's going on with Emergence, Justin? What's going on with Justin? What's going on with everything? What's going on with Emergence? What's the rundown here? What's the rundown?
So, I mean, this card looks pretty good. Some matches that we got coming up on this card, we got Honor No More going up against the Bullet Club for like the 1,000th time, because apparently Honor No More can only do 5-on-5 matches, or, those 10-man tag team matches.
I've noticed that.
So we have that. We also got Josh Alexander going up against Alex Shelley on this show, which that could be a very good match. What else we got? We got Stevemacklin on this card going up against Sami Callihan. We got like a AAA match on this show. So we got a lot of different matches on here for a lot of, different wrestling fans. So yeah. I think, and overall, the weekly shows have been pretty good. And I know you really haven't been caught up like with the weekly shows, but they've been doing pretty good. And like I said, like every time we make a video, Impact is very consistent with the way they like build up their storylines. I mean, some storylines aren't the greatest, but like they're really consistent with like, staying on this, like staying with that same story. Yeah. And when you like, they don't do they don't do a live show every week. They do a taping, every few weeks and stuff. So which, that sometimes is a good thing for Impact and stuff. But there's sometimes I wish they were in bigger arenas. But, we always talk about, with Impact, with the way they shoot the show, and maybe if they shoot it different ways, maybe people might watch more. Like the production, that's definitely needs to change with Impact. But we always talk about that. We always talk about that. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to the show.
I always think Impact has so much potential, but I don't know if they'll ever realize it again, because I think that needs to be hammered home, the again part, because Impact was the number 2 wrestling company for a little bit there, with a pretty good chance of competing, and then they did the things that they thought that they should have did to compete and kind of screwed themselves. Really, and honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think they screwed themselves in the money aspect of things more than they did the actual booking of the show. I think the way money was spent was more the issue than the way the show was booked. I mean, even looking back, I've always felt like the Knockouts title scene and the world title scene have been pretty consistent throughout Impact's entire history. So, there's just been some hiccups along the way. But Emergence.
Yeah, and I kind of want to get onto that part with about the knockouts. The knockouts division they always been consistent. Even when WWE were doing those terrible women's matches, we could always go like, hey, Impact, they were always solid with their women's division or the knockouts division, and they really started like that women's like kind of revolution. But then,
Yeah, well, and just because you don't know the women that are on the roster doesn't mean it hasn't been consistent. It's not Impact's fault that you didn't watch the new talent come in because Gail Kim retired and Awesome Kong left. Like even still after that, like Rosemary was a good champion. Sue Young brought some good things to the table. I'm blanking on a lot of people right now, but like, there's always been really good talent in the Knockouts division. Even like with Fire and Flava going into the Knockouts tag team division, which I don't think is as good as the Knockouts singles division, but at the same time, like there's always been, I think, consistency with the Knockouts. And I mean, we talked about it before. If Impact could find a decent channel, I mean, it would be or a secondary channel or something. Like they need something.
They need something. I mean, even put the like you said, you go on streaming services. Netflix. They need to get in the game. They need to get in like with wrestling streaming services to bump their numbers up or something.
I mean, and that's the thing because even kind of just on this off-topic thought process, like Netflix is going to have to do something because right now, from what I'm hearing, I don't necessarily believe it per se, but I think a lot of people who watch Netflix religiously probably do. Netflix is kind of on the decline because everybody has a Netflix now, right? Everybody, Hulu Plus. I don't think it's Hulu Plus, but anyway, Hulu, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Peacock, all of these things, and then on top of that, Amazon Prime too, adding in sports, right? Like.
And then also they got an NFL
Monday Night
Plus
Football
now.
and Thursday Night Football too, like on these streaming services. And yeah, like you said, like NFL Plus and I'm sure NBA probably has a plus at this point too. But like like you can watch whatever you want to watch. You can pick and choose on every different streaming service. So if you can create a little bit of everything, like and this is completely off topic, but if Netflix wants to continue to grow, I think they need to invest in sports, and wrestling is a part of that. Wrestling is a unique sport you can put in front of people, but at the same time, you can still, pull your money into other things too. Like it wouldn't even hurt for Netflix to have like kind of like what Peacock does. Like it's not live WWE, like they of course do have live WWE, but it's not like live weekly shows, but they have the weekly shows. So like if Netflix invests in AEW reruns or something, that's more eyes on AEW. Or Impact reruns or something, that's more eyes on Impact. Just because people who aren't wrestling fans do have Netflix. So I don't know. I think it would be a good idea. I think I am no businessman by no means, but I think it would be a smart investment. Just go ahead and hop on it now because I want to say like before podcasts were really big, Fight It kind of hopped on the kind of putting podcast, and instead of having just wrestling shows, let's have people talking about wrestling on our app or whatever. So you got to be ahead of the curve, and they're already behind the curve. So.
We'll go ahead and get started with these predictions here. Let's go. Let's jump right into it.
And Impact ain't gonna cost you that much, I don't think. Be a good starting point, but anyway,
that's true. So on the countdown to Emergence, we got Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary going up against VXT, which is Deon Purrazzo and Chelsea Green. And also, so we got Jessica Havoc. She's going under like a whole new like character right now. Like they're just calling her Jessica because like apparently she got what's the word I'm trying to think of? She got like transferred into like this different realm. Like they do some wonky storyline sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like what happened with who was it? It was Sue Young, and then she became Susie. It's kind of like that character a little bit. So she's being like all happy go lucky, rainbows and ponies and stuff like that. So she's being kind of weird. And also Ty Valkyrie and Rosemary, they are the Knockouts tag team champions right now. So who do you have win this match? Yeah. Who do you have win this match here? I mean, there's really, Deon Purrazzo and Chelsea Green. I feel like
the titles aren't on the line.
The titles are on the line. Yeah, they are on the line.
I'm going. I think the champions retain then, because I think. I'm trying to think. VXT. That's Deanna and Chelsea Green. Which I think that's. I don't know. This one's tough because on one hand I feel like Taya and Rosemary is like a thrown together team because Havoc's in Decay or Jessica. She's in Decay, and I think that'll probably honestly like have something to do with this match. I think Taya and Rosemary were kind of transitional champions. So I'm gonna go with I'm going with VXT. I think they will be fun champions. I think having Chelsea Green back is good, and we all know how Deonna Purrazzo operates as champion. So I'm going VXT.
And then also we kind of seen like Rosemary and Jessica, kind of being a head to head against each other because she's been kind of costing her some matches as of recently here.
And they could do the same thing. You remember what I was talking about with Susie? They could do the same thing where it's like, well, what would be nice is like, honorarily put Taya into Decay or something, or do like a Freebird rule type thing where it's kind of like Jessica is the reason why you lose, but you need like that beast Jessica Havoc, like you need that beast Havoc to keep Decay going or something like that. Like, we're talking about with Susie, the best way that they probably could have went about that was to have Susie be the reason why you lose the titles, and then Susie's the weak link, even though Su Yung is like the X Factor, but Susie's the weak link to make it even more so. These are two different characters.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with that point which you said there. And also, they actually Rosemary and Ty Valkyrie, they actually were a team before Ty Valkyrie went over to WWE as Frankie Monet. So they did have a little stint going, but it's like nothing I really remember much of. But I think they should put the titles on VXT here. I agree with you, DJ. Like Deonna Purrazzo, she's great as a champion. I feel like put a title around Chelsea Green. And also these two girls are really good friends outside of the ring. They do a lot of stuff together. So yeah, give me VXT to win here. And that'd be nice to do like a title change on like the kickoff, or the countdown to Impact or the show. Yeah. Just go like, hey, title change, and tune in to see what happens on the regular show on the pay-per-view.
Is it so? It's at the countdown's probably starts at 7 and the match is at 7:30. Is that what it's saying?
I think the pre-show starts at 7:30. Yeah. The pre-show starts at 7:30.
So the main show starts at what, 8?
Yeah, 8 your time. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Which is kind of, and also the show's gonna be happening on Friday, which is kind of different here.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the next match.
Jack Evans versus the winner of Mike Bayley versus Rocky Romero. Too many R's going on right now. Because Rocky Romero is challenging for the title tonight, right?
Yeah, tonight on Impact. Yeah,
he's not winning the title. So they might as well just put Mike Bayley versus Jack Evans. Like, they should have just went ahead.
And
made that, because first things first, Mike Bayley just won the title. What would be a good little change of pace, and I don't know if that's even the right way to say it, but what would be nice for them to do would be maybe have something happen where Rocky Romero cost, he how that goes, like Rocky Romero trying to get the upper hand or something, and not Rocky Romero, Jack Evans trying to get the upper hand or something like that, so he like tries to skew the match how he wants to, and then it causes a DQ, and then it's turned into a triple threat, because that would be, I don't think that would be a bad move to go about it either. But I think Mike Bayley wins regardless, whether this becomes a triple threat or it's Mike Bayley versus Jack Evans. I mean, Mike Bayley just got the title. He's kind of just getting his push going. So I think Mike Bayley's got to get the win on this one.
Yeah, I definitely agree that Mike Bailey is gonna win the match against Rocky Romero tonight. Like, there's no way that he's. I mean, I like the point where you said maybe make this a triple threat match because I always love multi-men X Division matches.
Yeah,
Like, they're always fun, and so I don't think that would disappoint. And I'm not really too familiar with Jack Evans. I mean, I'm seeing him stuff that he does in AEW, but like I never really seen a lot of him like his solo stuff. Like I seen him with the what is there the 2.0 or something or like hybrids or something like that.
yeah,
I'm not exactly sure. Um, but yeah, I definitely think Mike Bailey wins and then he goes on to this match and he's going to retain regardless. He's retaining this title here. I'll be very surprised if they do have any title change here. But Impact is pretty good about doing surprises. So I mean,
that's true.
who knows what happens.
That's
But
true.
yeah, we'll move on to the next match.
Violent by Design versus Saban and Kushida. Oh, that'd be that's a fun team for Saban and Kushida. What's Alex Shelley doing? I don't remember.
He's gonna be in the main event going up against Josh
Aha, I
Alexander.
should know that by the bottom graphic. But cool. It's always interesting because I feel like Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley like rarely ever actually tag together anymore. Which is surprising because like I guess I would have expected them to flip this and have the Machine Guns continue to stay together and then have Kushida maybe go after the title. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know the story behind this whole the bottom storyline, but also like this one. But I mean, I definitely think it's going to be a good match. I love Violent by Design. They've kind of taken something that's almost like not a placeholder because that sounds bad, but like just like we got to keep these guys busy. Like besides giving them the title, they've done a good job of booking that though. Because I mean, I am always interested in Violent by Design. I think having the free road rule, just in general, is good because it gives you different combinations. They built up Joe Doring ridiculously. And I think they've elevated Diener too. Like this group has done exactly what it's supposed to do. I think Diener's looking about as good as he's looked, besides when, of course, he was teaming with Cousin Jake. Because I really did like that tag team. I still think they should do that. Impact, you usually listen to me. You usually listen to me. This is the time, okay? This is the time. I think that they need to have a little bit of a reunion because that will be fun. Because my thing is, if they can elevate, Diener, they can elevate Jake something.
Jake something
too.
terrible
right?
name.
Like I just, I think it would be good to like have him in this group. I don't know what he's doing, and I think he's like shown some good things. But I think like imagine him and Joe Doring as a tag team, like those just two like mammoth beasts, just like like that would be awesome. That would be fun. Like having him and Diener back together to see what he would work with, like how he would work with EY would be a lot of fun. Like, I mean, he could just learn so much, I think, in that regard too. But I on this one, because I don't think I picked this match yet. I'm gonna go Chris Sabin and Kushida. I feel like not that Violent by Design can afford to lose this match, but there's no titles on the line. It's not. I don't know if it's necessarily bragging rights per se, but it's not one of those matches where it's like gonna kill them if they lose. Plus, you want to continue to build Kushida just coming in off of being on WWE, but with New Japan and everything too, you want to continue to kind of build him up too. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Kushida and Sabin. I always want to say Shida and
um, now we see. So with Violent by Design, they've been starting to have like some dissension in the group. Like, ever since we had Joe Doran, he lost to Josh Alexander like at it was like I think it was at the last special that they did, and also then Diener lost, and like so Eric Young has been kind of upset with Diener and Joe Doran, and basically said they need to learn their lesson, because everything goes through Eric Young. So we're starting to see a little bit of dissension in the group, kind of the sickness is trying to take over again, like, and basically saying, hey, you don't cross me, he goes like, everything goes through me, basically. So now they basically, Violent by Design, they've been running Rampage like on the most of the machine guns. They've been costing them a lot of matches. So that's how this feud is kind of this how this feud is kind of going right now. I think that Violent by Design needs to get a win here because I to get on the right page here, with Eric Young. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. To kind of have that sickness keep going, and kind of see more dissension of Violent by Design.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm gonna be different here. I'm gonna say that Violent by Design wins this match. Yeah,
because this world belongs to us.
Belongs to us. Yeah, exactly.
Bandito versus Ray Horus, who used to be actually known as the son of Rey Mysterio, El Hijo de Rey Mysterio. Fun fact. I'm going with Bandito. I don't know what either one of these two guys are. Oh, it's an attraction match. Aha! See if I read. AAA attraction match. Bandito versus Ray Horus. I think this will be fun to kind of show off AAA a little bit. Impact's always kind of done that pretty well. I wonder, is Conan still working with Impact? Because I know he has a big hand in AAA, and I know that's where that deal came from originally. Anyway, makes me wonder if he's still working with Impact at all.
I don't believe so. I think
I know he has his podcast. That I tune into every once in a while.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
You ever want to, anyway.
If you ever want to come on, we can interview you. do a collab. Come on over here. But you pick Bandito, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking Bandito. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the right way. Yeah, that's who I think I'm gonna go with.
Isn't Bandito signed to Impact or something? Or he's been on Impact more?
I don't. Well, as of these recent tapings, he hasn't. I mean, let's see. Sometimes my vision gets blurry and stuff. Because some weeks run into other weeks, and I can't remember. He hasn't really been on a lot of Impact. I don't think either of these guys are really signed to Impact.
Oh.
But yeah, it'd be nice to see these guys on Impact Television and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bandito to win here as well. It's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be like that because I remember watching that match against who was it? It was Black Taurus. It was it was a big Fatal 4-Way match back at Ric Flair's last match. I think this match could be just exactly like that. Mm-hmm. It was a whole bunch of lucha libres in there, and it was a very high flying match.
The lucha
lucha things, yeah, exactly. So yeah, give me Bandito to win here.
Moving on to Stevemacklin versus Sami Callihan. What's the rundown, Justin?
So the rundown of this match is, ever since Sami Callihan has came back, he's been going after Moose, and then we had this crazy House of Fun match back at was it Against All Odds? Yeah, I think it was last month. Yeah, Against All Odds. And Stevemacklin came out and helped out Moose get the win there. So Moose and Stevemacklin, they got a little partnership going on and stuff. And Sami Callihan, the rebel that he is, he's just trying to take them both out. He just wants to get rid of them. So that's how we got this match right here. For my prediction for this match, I think that maybe Moose gets involved some way, and they somehow continue on the storyline. Maybe Sami Callihan brings in some backup or something. But yeah, give me Stevemacklin to win here.
Is Stevemacklin still a heel?
Yeah, he's still a heel. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're still building up Stevemacklin. I think they've done a pretty good job of it from what I've seen, and I think going with that flow, I think Stevemacklin gets the win. And
it would be nice to see the partnership between Stevemacklin and Moose is kind of interesting because this is very odd pairing. But now that I've been seeing it these past few weeks on Impact, it's not bad. I mean, I've been enjoying it. But yeah.
All right, the match we've all been waiting for, right? Honor No More versus the Bullet Club. And I think you said, you had told me if Honor No More loses, they have to disband, right?
Yeah. And this is also a no DQ match.
My thought process in this is that Eddie Edwards turns against them. Just because, originally he turned with them and they were on top and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure they've had their struggles and whatnot as of late and still been wreaking havoc and whatnot. But I think this is going to be when Eddie Edwards turns back and kind of does this thing. Is camera dot is Debbie Richards still in? Is he still doing anything in Impact or no?
Not ever since Slammiversary.
Because I was wondering, I don't know, maybe they do something where Eddie comes to his senses and not that the Bullet Club is Impact per se, but he kind of changes his mind or whatever, and that's kind of what happens. It also makes you wonder too with this whole thing is Ring of Honor about to start doing shows? What's going on, because of course we got the news that Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, but then nothing's been done with Ring of Honor except for one show. So it makes you wonder what they're gonna do. I just hope that they, I don't know, it's just so weird. I don't know why they I don't know if they bought them for the talent acquisition of it. Are they planning on some sort of AEW network and they can use the library? What's going, are they going to still run them as a separate promotion? And just with the timing of this match, because I think they were supposed to start back in June or something, but the timing of this match just makes me wonder, they're kind of done with Impact, and which was, it was a fun run. They're kind of done with Impact, and let's see what they're going to do now that AEW has the reins, but
and not Roman Reigns.
Close though.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting what they're doing with Honor No More right now. Wrecking havoc over everybody. Kind of trying to hijack the network and stuff. They were backstage. They were messing up the production trucks and all that, and they had to so much technical difficulties going on and all that type of jazz. Yeah, and it also makes me think, is Ring of Honor finally going to be getting a TV deal? Because Tony Khan hasn't announced anything ever since they did that, what was it, Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view, which was back in July, which apparently they're supposed to be bringing more stuff out in September here, with the Honor Club and all that. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see what happens with Ring of Honor. But at the same time, I feel like it was a bad idea for Tony Khan to buy Ring of Honor because, it has more places for people to work. And when one company gets bought out, I just don't understand. Maybe it was for the talent. I don't understand. But I feel like Tony Khan shouldn't have bought Ring of Honor. He should just focus more on AEW. But that's for another topic for another day. Let me go with the Bullet Club here to win this match. And this is gonna be one of your typical. It's gonna be one of your typical 10-man tag team matches here. So, yeah.
Okay. Jordan Grace versus BAM Knockouts World Championship. I'm still curious to see what they're gonna do with Jordan Grace as champion. I want to go back and watch. I gotta remember when the last special was that I watched. I just want to see what she's done. I felt like her run before was a little boring. For lack of a better term, it was a little generic, I guess. Because she was still developing as a character. But I mean, now she looks better, probably more confident, I'm sure, probably more comfortable, I'm sure. So I want to see what they're going to do with her in terms of as champion. So I'm curious to actually see this match because, of course, Mia Yim comes in as a face, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got to. Right? Mia Yim comes in as a face. What do they do with Jordan Grace? And I would love to see maybe a "you don't appreciate me" type of Jordan Grace, right? I don't understand. I've worked hard to get to where I'm at, and you would just act like I just was given everything, like something like that. Like I think that would be fun. I think seeing her as a heel would give her more legs, just because I don't know. Like I'm not saying she comes off as a heel naturally, but I mean she's got a great physique. She looks great. You can parade around like you're better than Mia Yim, and she knows it, right? Like you can parade around a little bit, like I just think Jordan Grace would work really good as a heel. I'm trying to think of some of the like strong women and men that have wrestled and how they fared as heels, but I'm blanking on a lot of them. Like who just kind of look like Jordan Grace. I mean Steiner. Interesting.
Charlotte's one of them.
I think Jordan Grace retains. I think it's too early. I mean, it's not too early for them to give the title to Mia Yim, but I think it's I think they just gave the title to Jordan Grace, so why would they give the title to Mia Yim?
Yeah, because they gave it to Rebecca at Slammiversary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a good match regardless. And with Jordan Grace, she respects Mia Yim, but she says that she's treating her as like an obstacle, and she's what she does with obstacles, she runs through them. But she's still given Mia Yim all that respect, and I think it's gonna be a good match. I think it's gonna be pretty good. But Jordan Grace is gonna retain, and I don't remember. I think it was Mia Yim she beat. I'm trying to figure out. I think she beat Dion Purrazzo in a number of contenders match a few weeks ago on Impact to get this title match. Like I felt like sometimes with Impact, sometimes everything runs together. Like wait, did it happen last week or the week before? Or like, was it May? Oh wait, that was 2 months ago. Oh my bad. But yeah, I got Jordan Grace to retain.
And the main event of the evening, I'm thinking. Alex Shelley, the challenger, Josh Alexander, Impact World Champion. Should be a good match, but Alex Shelley is not winning this match. Now, I almost wonder if they're going with Alex Shelley hasn't done it before. He's an Impact original. You know how they do with the guys who haven't won the title before. And it makes you wonder, if that's the direction they're going to go in. I definitely don't think Alex Shelley's going to win. It's going to be a good match, but Josh Alexander is going to win the title. Going to retain the title. And he's going to continue this pretty darn good run that he's been on. I like Josh Alexander a lot, and I'm interested to see exactly how his run continues to play out. So Josh Alexander for the win, to the moon,
and not Cameron Grimes. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a definitely a solid match here. Both these guys, it's gonna be like a kind of like an Ring of Honor type match, like where they both respect each other, give like code of honor to each other, basically. So how Alex Shelley got this match? We're doing a number contender between both machine guns, and Alex Shelley he won this match here. And then after that match, Violent by Design attacked him, and that that's how the whole Violent by Design stuff happened. Yeah, it's gonna be good, but Josh Alexander is definitely gonna retain here. He's not losing. But it will be interesting to see, with the whole story going, hey, Alex Shelley hasn't won the big one like, Chris Sabin has. So maybe that's kind of like eating at him a little bit on the inside. And who knows? I mean, you never know. Impact sometimes like they like to make some bold moves. So
did you ever hear the story that Sabin was not supposed to win the title?
I don't think I have. No.
Yeah, I think it was Bully Ray was talking about it on the Busted Open podcast, but he was talking about how Sabin wasn't technically supposed to win the title. He was he was coming off of that ACL injury, and as a reward for all his rehab and hard work and stuff, they gave him the title for a little bit. That's why the run was so short.
Oh, I guess I never knew that. Well, you learn something new every day. Which I actually do listen to the Busted Open Radio. I listen to it on Sirius XM, which it's good. When I'm driving somewhere, I listen to it on a long road trip.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't listen to Busted Open, you should. Also, hey, if you don't listen to the Instant Classic Wrestling podcast, you should be listening to that.
I mean,
On
we
YouTube.
are Googleable.
We are Googleable. You can find us everywhere. Speaking of finding us everywhere, let's pull up our socials here. There you go. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you can watch us on YouTube, or you can listen to us. I mean, if you want to watch us see our beautiful faces, I mean, minus Adam and Casey, because they don't ever show their faces on camera.
They break them. That's what.
They break the cameras. That's why. That's right. And go follow all the social medias. Go follow Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok. Karen Cross loves to say that. Yeah, that's Emergence.
Yeah, I'm excited. I hope I get to watch it because knowing me, I'll watch it three years later. But hopefully I'll get to watch it. It should be pretty good. It's a good looking card. I just hope I can get back into Impact. That's the thing. Like, I feel like Impact's good. I just feel like sometimes I struggle to get into it. Like once I'm into it, I'm good. But it's just like that first initial, I can't do it. But
yeah,
any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good show nonetheless. I don't know when exactly we'll do the review, but we will get the review out for you. The Impact Group Gurus. We actually need to come up with a name for like what our like coalition is here, like for Impact, like Impact Gurus. I feel like that's been done before. I don't know. We'll figure that out down the road.
All right. As always, watch us, listen to us on all the platforms and whatnot. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Until next time.